Well, that was quick. Good evening and welcome to another round of the House of Esports F1 2023 League. This is Season 3 and we are at the incredible Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And yeah, we will be getting underway very shortly. This is Tier 1, and we've got a pretty full grid, 19 guys on the grid, so this should be an absolutely epic race. Turn 1 is sure to be interesting. Just trying to sort out a couple of little bits of extra admin, so the moment the guys get out there, which they just have, I will open up the stream for you, and then I will go and chat to the people who don't have their telemetry set up. So yeah, I will obviously be back shortly, but in the meantime, here are the live pictures. Looking at the weather, it looks like it is going to be a beautiful quali session at the very least. I cannot see the race session just yet, so we'll see how that goes shortly.
Ferrari has seen a wealth of success here, with more wins than any other constructor. Michael Schumacher, Ed Senna, Jim Clark, Niki Lauda and Alan Prost, few have enjoyed standing on the top step of the podium.
Alrighty, thank you for your patience. Those who had their telemetry settings wrong have been let know via the Discord. Yeah, we will go from there. And yeah, just a couple people having a few issues. Corsair is on the grid, so he did pick up a quali ban as well as a 2 race ban due to his incidents from Jeddah. However, the 2 race ban has been delayed until the next race due to the fact that the notification for that came through incredibly late. So we will delay his race bans until we've had a chance to review his appeals. So that is why you will see Corsair on the grid. He's retired now from the session. He just went out in order to load his setup, test his force feedback, get it all working properly so that he doesn't take everyone out into turn 1. And looks like he has come to the end of that run. Avronox currently out on an outlap, so following him around. And this, you can see how technical this circuit is. Even on an outlap, you can see how hard the drivers have to work to get things going through. We were going to have Martin de Brain on the grid as well, but unfortunately his power has not come back after an issue with that looked like a Haas losing its wing and throwing its wings all over the place. That's really unfortunate. I do believe that was that Shane? I think it might have been Shane. Let's go have a look. Yes, it was indeed Shane. So, although his wings do look fine, so not entirely sure what all those pieces were all over the place. Let's go have a look at Aphrodite. Looks like he's still got his wings as well. So, not entirely sure what was going on there, but that Haas looked like it was disintegrating, but not this time. Okay, right. Thank you. I'm now with the chat. Sorry, again, a whole bunch of people had their telemetry settings incorrect. I see a couple people still struggling to get it right, and I see a whole bunch of messages on Discord. So I'm going to be a little bit distracted just until we get all those settings correct. Who is messaging me that I don't have on my friends list? No idea, but not someone who sent me a message, so that's absolutely fine. So yeah, Spa-Francorchamps, obviously a very historic circuit. It has, as the F1 TV guys let us know a number of times during the broadcast this last weekend. It's been on the calendar since the very beginning, so incredibly historical circuit. One of the longest circuits on the calendar. I think it is currently the longest circuit on the calendar, and you can see incredibly technical. Pretty much every one of these corners has a name and has an incredible history. The bus stop chicane, which they're coming into now, I think it does have a new name at the moment, but I still remember it as the bus stop chicane. La Source, which is coming up is turn number 1. Which Arc is busy heading towards now. So this hairpin right here, obviously very, very, very easy to have incidents there. I see the track has not been updated to show the new gravel traps on the outside of La Source, and then up the hill into Eau Rouge, and at the top of the hill, Radeon. Obviously this has been the site of many tragedies. And now onto the Kemmel Straight. So as you can see, so much history around this track. One of the most dangerous tracks on the calendar, I would bet. Just with how many people have died at Eau Rouge and Radeon. Obviously, just recently, not Marcus. I can't remember his first name now, but Van Toft had that incident in the Freca race, Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. So, you guys are just looking at my jacket. Apologies for that. Yeah, so yeah, a very unfortunate circuit at times, but one of those circuits that is absolutely incredible to drive, incredibly technical through the second sector, and then those massively fast first and third sectors. Azure, unfortunately, Eskom has claimed him as one of its victims, and he will not be joining us tonight, just like Martin de Bruin. So a couple of really fast guys, unfortunately, unable to join. Venom, I have seen your request. I am going to send you through an invite now. If you guys cannot hear the stream, please let me know, because I don't have it coming through my headphones. So that I can actually hear myself think. Venom, you are not showing online. Please let me know as soon as you've restarted, and I'll send you through an invite. Currently 7 minutes 10 seconds until the end of the session. So a couple of people still haven't set a time. So Humid currently coming through the second sector, and as I said, this is a technical sector. I don't remember all the corner names through here, and there's often quite a lot of discussion about what the corner names actually are there, but yeah, not entirely sure of their names. I'll go find a map very shortly, possibly between now and the race itself. Obviously, the double left-hander of Blanchiment, if I remember correctly, and now down into the bus stop, is probably one of the hardest braking zones of the track, and Hewitt carrying a ton of speed through there, gets nicely out there just to the curb. I'm not sure if the curbs are as easy to take as they are in real life, and you can see the gap there between them. Only 39 thousandths of a second between Scars and Humid. So good lap there by Humid. Even better lap there by Scars. Marsh in third, Zivan in fourth place, and Emil in fifth. They are followed by Mario, but someone has just hopped up. GSR Wheeze hopping up into fourth position. So good lap by the Williams driver. Emil in sixth, Mario in seventh, Project eighth, Olympic in ninth, and that is just starting a lap, so we'll follow him around. Helis is 10th. Quaha Roberts, I'm not entirely sure how we pronounce that. Kaifu, Shane, Wormpuzzle, and Ark top 15. Then Fish and Corsair not finishing the quali session due to their quali bans, and then TJ and Afrodox. Afrodox are currently on an outlap behind Olympic. So we'll follow Olympic round and then head across to Afrodox to see what he can do on his lap. Onboard is always scuffed. Like, I don't understand. Oh, that was a massive snap there by Olympic coming through that corner. And really unfortunate. He would have lost a little bit of time there. But yeah, for some reason, the onboard is just always terrible, and that is an invalidation by Olympic. So unfortunate for the Ferrari driver, currently sitting in 10th. I'm sure there's more pace out of him, and I'm sure he's going to be pushing to get back to the pits. 4 minutes and 45 seconds left until the end of the session, and obviously people trying to push to get around the track. It is an incredibly long track, as you guys can see. Just give me a sec. I'm going to send that. I'm going to try and send an invite to Venom, but no. Just checking if I can see you at all. Am I blind? Venom, please check if you've still got me on your friends list. I can't see you on mine. these guys are obviously incredibly quick. Afrodox getting out of the way some. Oh, Venom has joined. Great to see that you managed to find someone to join on. Thank you for that. Thank you, Visor Gaming, for the follow. Great to have you with us. And I see a whole bunch of you guys in the channel watching. Thank you so much for joining us. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here. And let's see what a lap looks like from Afrodox. Obviously, one of our front runners generally. So let's see how he does through Orange and onwards.
Nationality, Britain has the most
Apologies for that. Apparently, the wrong audio channel was pointing at the wrong output channel, or wrong input channel was pointing at the wrong output channel, and Project getting a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Shane, and that's a little bit unusual. We don't often see collisions in the quali session. Shane currently out there, obviously in 14th at the moment. Not entirely sure what happened there. But the Haas, where is the Haas actually? Is it that? Do we have another Haas? We have. Yeah, so he's in the pits. Not entirely sure what happened there. A little bit of a weird one. Yeah, Venom unfortunately lost. It looked like you retired before the end of the session, before you managed to get a lap in. Okay, so as it stands, the Haas of Marsh going around, and top three only separated by under 10th. Scars with a 141.449, was possibly a little bit balked on the corner there by the spun Alpha Tauri. Is that humid? I think it was humid. So not entirely sure what happened there, but Scars may have been balked a little bit there. Scars 141.449, humid is 39 thousandths of a second back, a 141.488. Marsh 141.504. So the top three incredibly close together. Mario, Weeze, Zivan, and Emil not far back. And then in the 42s we have Quaha, Robert, Robert, maybe. Haley's Olympic, Kaifu, Project, Worm Puzzle, all in the 42s. And then 43s, we've got Shane, Mark, and TJ, and then Afrodox with the 154, but I do believe he ran out of fuel. So a little bit of a weird one there. But let's see how it goes. So, Afrodox and Corsair, obviously both are very quick. I'm sure we'll see them move up the field very quickly. Venom has some pace in that Aston Martin as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him start moving up a little bit. And Fish, obviously joining us as a reserve from the T2 side of things, if I recall correctly, has the pace to look at T1, so let's see how he does. Yeah, so sorry about that, Azir. It looks like an incredibly strong field, and yeah, unfortunately, Esken obviously having its say potty as well. It's really pity about your schedule not lining up. So yeah, unfortunate there. But yeah, just looking at the timing screen, I've got still a couple of people without the correct settings. Let's just see who that is. So I've got the Williams in 8th place. That is Robert. No, that one. Robert. In the Williams in 8th without the correct telemetry settings, and then the second person without the correct telemetry settings is the Alpine in 16th. So that is TJ. Hopefully they will see the messages. Kifstar, Kifster. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us and for the follow. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. But yeah, hopefully those guys do double check their telemetry settings. Otherwise, they will get a DSQ if they haven't fixed it by the end of the race, or sort of by a third of the way into the race, to be honest. Yeah, I've sent the last reminder to them. Arch, hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's been a while. Thank you, Kifster. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, my voice is a little on the rough side this evening. It's been a little bit of a busy day, and I'm sure a couple of people can attest to that. I've been busy with a few things through the day, a couple of fairly long meetings with some of the guys, and we can see the guys on the grid. No formation lap in this league due to the fact that the it's quite broken. It's very broken at the best of times around a circuit like Spa with such a long run from the start finish line back to the grid. It's just way too much time for the formation lap to break. I'm kind of hoping we don't see the safety car tonight. Obviously, we had a few in the Tier 1 race last week at Jeddah, and many in the Tier 2 race. We actually maxed out the number of safety cars we could have in the Tier 2 race, and then people just started poofing out of existence whenever they had an incident. So, 5 red lights are now on, and a little delay before the start. Nice to see everyone is still in. No AIs there. Afrodox immediately gets a place on TJ, dropping a couple of places into T1. Let's see if everyone behaves themselves. It looks like it's fairly good so far. And we've got yellow flags and a couple of people back. Worm Puzzle and Robert, unfortunately, not having a good T1, but it looks like they got underway fairly quickly. And Worm Puzzle actually before T1, it almost looked like. Not sure if he maybe had some lag. Oh, and through Eau Rouge, we have a couple of bits of contact, and there it is. Wheeze having a massive amount of contact there, and I'm going to say that is a little bit too much lag. And I wonder if that maybe has caused a couple of issues. So definite contact through Eau Rouge. I'm sure we'll get stewards' reports of that, and that's really unfortunate that we missed that. But out in front, Scars, a commanding lead already, 8 tenths ahead of Humid. Afrodox already up into 8th position. Where is my? There it is. So there is the positions gained and lost. 8 positions up for Afrodox already. Corsair up into 15th place, 4 positions up. Weeze losing 14 positions after that moment into Eau Rouge. And yeah, so far, to be honest, it hasn't looked too bad. Obviously, we are running reduced damage, so that has helped a little bit. It looks like the only person with confirmed damage is Shane in 10th position in the house. And unfortunate for him, but it is very light damage. It's 10% damage to that wing, so it should be fine. Kaifu and Aphrodite, and possibly a little bit of a contact there. Aphrodite taking to the runoff, making those way through there. Didn't gain an advantage there. I think just kept his foot in. I think that was fine. And through the final corner, he is now up into 7th position. We have a yellow flag, and that looks like Project possibly in the McLaren may have had a moment, but is underway again, dropping down into 7th position, 17th position. Unfortunate for him, but yeah, lots happening in this race. Olympic in 6th place has Aphrodite. Is right on the back of Emil Aphrodite's teammate there, and let's see what he can do down the chemistrate. Looks like he's going to make an easy pass. Stays in the slipstream though until the last possible moment. The right way to do it. Let's see, does he manage to get the braking performance out of those medium tires? He does not. Those soft tires allowing Emil to brake just that little bit later and keep the lead into the 2nd sector. So the guys are calming down a little bit now, so I might be able to actually have a little bit of a drink. But there we have Fish and Robert fighting it out there through the 2nd sector, and that is a little bit of contact between Fish and Robert. I don't think Robert was close enough there to warrant the space, so a little bit unfortunate by him, but let's see what he can do. Currently down into 15th place. I'm just looking. It doesn't look like there's any real damage anywhere that I can see. Corsair has left the session. That is really unfortunate. Currently running in 13th. Any room of clear air, he's going to be caught very quickly with the AI settings currently on 60%, and these guys being a lot faster than that, so he's probably going to be caught pretty quickly. Hopefully he can let me know if he needs an invite, and we have Fish retiring from the session, and that is really unfortunate there. Let's see if I can get back to him. There we go, and we can see him on the inside of the double right-hander there. Really unfortunate for him. It looked like he was a little bit struggling with the guys around him. Hopefully he does report any incidents as they have happened. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate there for Fish. It has left the session as well. I saw Emil and Mario swap places. Corsair has managed to rejoin, so that's good. Emil looked like he was trying to give up position there. Hopefully he doesn't get an ignoring yellow flags penalty, but going off the track like that and Mario not passing. Oh, what the heck? Oh, that was sus. And that was caught on stream. And Kaifu getting a 5-second penalty for a collision with Aphrodite. Safety cars. Yeah, no, this, like, honestly, that moment with Mario and, I can't remember exactly who it was, but was it Mario and Emil? That is very concerning behavior, and I'm sure we'll get that into the steward's room. And what is Kaifu doing? So the rules have been, the rules for the safety car have been updated in the HOE rulebook to state that you cannot go beyond, you cannot put your front wing beyond the rear wing of the car ahead. It looks like Kaifu is a little bit too close and maybe struggling to maintain that. Possibly that front wing damage causing a little bit of trouble for him. But yeah, definitely needs to hold back a little bit further so he doesn't get that overlap with Aphrodite. And I wonder if that's what led to the contact in the first place. Yeah, Neil currently in 13th place. I do believe he's down there due to that contact with Mario. A little bit of a strange one there. I'm sure I'm going to get that across into the steward's room. Corsair has managed to rejoin, hopefully a little bit more stable this time. I know he has been practicing a lot for this one, which is one of the reasons. Thank you for deafening me. That sound still comes into my ears, just not the game. So Yeah, like I know Corsair has been practicing a lot and currently down 11th with his connection issues. That's really unfortunate for him because he was really looking forward to this race. One of the reasons that we did delay the 2 race ban was just because the notification that they weren't going to be able to play today came so incredibly late that we felt it was a little bit unfair to them. Oh, this is a little bit interesting because it looks like both of the Red Bulls have actually come in at the same time. So Kaifu is busy serving a penalty and getting his wing replaced, but that means that Ark is waiting behind him. So he's probably cursing his teammate right now. Granted, they won't fall too far back. Obviously, the safety car it does move fairly slowly, and it looks like Ark actually had a penalty as well. You can see the pit crew just waiting there for the 5 seconds to pass. So Ark and Kaifu both getting penalties. Let's have a look and see. Race director, let's see. Okay, so we've got lots going on here. We've got Shane with corner cutting warning, Olympic with a collision with Worm Puzzle, Olympic with a Worm Puzzle with a collision with Olympic, Kaifu and Emil, Zivan and Kaifu, Robert with Zivan, Haley's and Wheeze. My word, I didn't think that there were this many collisions. And then Ark getting a penalty for ignoring yellow flag. I'm sure that'll be fine. He's served it now. He's dropped all the way to the back. And then 5 second penalty for Kaifu for a severe collision with Aphrodite. So, well, yeah, this is it's gonna have a field day indeed. It's gonna be hectic. So, if any of the drivers are actually watching this, please double check. Please remember to save your replays at the end of the race. It will be good to have as many points of view as possible. Alrighty, so. Just checking if there's anything else going on. No, nothing else at the moment. Checking on the... Okay, so 2 Williams. Robert and Louise actually both have their telemetry incorrect. Emil has got his right. Pretty much everyone ahead has got his right. TJ has sorted his telemetry as well. So I will now be able to see. Oh, the safety car is coming in. And we can see a couple of people. Am I on the wrong screen? No, I was just on the wrong button. So we can see the guys keeping line astern, which is as they should be. And Scars is now the head of the pack, and he is leading them quite slowly down. And there is the opportunity to go. No, not quite yet. Safety car is in the pits now, and the moment Scars heads off, he will then get the racing underway. Currently, fastest first sector belongs to Humid. Fastest second and third belongs to Scars. Scars leaving it until the very end. Coming into the bus stop chicane, will he go before? Oh, Emil getting a 5-second penalty for a collision with Mario, and the Scars only going now, so going incredibly late. And I wonder if that was a situation like we had in Mugello a couple of years ago, where the back of the field thought they were going a lot earlier than they were, and but this hasn't worked out well for Scars because Humid is right on front of them as they head up to Rouge. Let's see if he can do anything, get closer. It looks like a little bit of dirty air, but it looks like he's still got a good run through Radion. And now onto the chemistrate. Will he be able to do something like this? No DRS this round. But it doesn't look like he's catching just about enough, so he's not going to be able to make it on the brakes. Obviously, those medium tires not giving the sort of traction that Scars will have. Marsh and Olympic right behind, and they are keeping in track. And Aphrodite up 11 positions into 5th place. Corsair in 8th has made a great run up, and we can see Olympic and Aphrodite fighting there. A little bit of contact there between the two of them. I think Olympic did close the door a little bit late there, so that will probably be fine, but again, that will probably be reported into the steward's room. Yeah, Afrodox up 11 places. Corsair as well doing incredibly well in the Alpine. You can see the cars coming through Puan in the background there, and it is absolute madness how fast these cars can go around this track. But Afrodox now right on the back of Olympic, and he doesn't look like he's going to want to stay behind there much longer. A snap of oversteer coming through into the final section of the track, and has lost a little bit of time there, but still such close timing here. 2/10, less than 2/10 humid behind Scars, and that's just the power of the slipstream on this track. Such long straights, and the slipstream. Oh, and that is a spin by Scars. I do believe that was contact between Scars and Humid, and that is really unfortunate because it looks like Humid did try and get out of it, pull alongside Scars before that move, and I think Scars braked a little bit early than Humid expected, and that is really unfortunate because that will be once again something that comes across the steward's desk. Yeah, cool. How's it? Welcome to the chat. Yes, you can absolutely see it's a game. Two Red Bulls at the back, although I wouldn't be surprised if Max Verstappen does go for something like that at some point, just to make it interesting. Marsh going for a move on Olympic, great move there into the section, and so close together, the two of them through the chicane. Humid gapping it out front, 1.1 seconds ahead at the moment, and Humid and Marsh, Olympic and Marsh fighting behind him is going to be incredibly good for him. Afrodox still in 4th position, 12 positions up, and Corsair making his moves as well, 13 positions, so he's catching up to Afrodox. Obviously the two of them had a couple of incidents in Jeddah, and they do have a little bit of history, but let's see how they do when they get close to one another. Olympic getting a 3-second penalty for track limits, so that's not ideal for him. Obviously under that pressure by Afrodox forcing a mistake from him, so a good move there by Afrodox. Zivan has had a moment, hopefully that isn't with some sort of contact, but it looks like Mario has slowed down with him, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is another incident for Mario. But yeah, back out in front, Humid has made a 1.5 second gap. He will be outside of DRS when it is eventually enabled, and Afrodox is now alongside Olympic. Will he be able to do something into the bus stop chicane? Soft tires, a little bit of a slide there, but manages to get it stopped, manages to get it turned, manages to get the position and up into 3rd place. Great move there, but now he has to deal with the Ferrari on a charge behind him. Emil currently in 8th place, looks like he managed to make a move as well, and let's see how the guys do. Corsair getting past Shane, and Shane actually doing really well considering he's a T2 driver, currently looking at I might have to bump him up into T1 with this particular performance, getting through on Corsair. Great move there, DRS open, Corsair letting him through and now following him down the Camel Straight, and just getting a little bit of a tow, which is the right thing to do there. Well done by Shane to get through on Corsair, and let's see how this goes further on. We've got Olympic just behind Afrodox, falling back a little bit, but Afrodox has to catch up to Marsh and Humid out in front, and Corsair right on the back of Shane. So Shane making that move, and now Afrodox Corsair has made a move to stay within that 1 second gap. You can see the outwash from the dirty air that Corsair experienced there through Puan. Project currently right behind Emil as well, so that's good to see. But incredible racing by the guys at the moment, and it looks like Venom may have spun going through Puan, and that's really unfortunate. Aston Martin spinning through there. I'm sure all of us are familiar with that side. So yeah, sorry to hear that. Who doesn't have a history with Corsair? Well, yeah. Zivan has retired from the session. That is really unfortunate. And will that be a safety car? It is indeed a safety car. And let's see if we can see what's happened here. Looks like it's on the outside there, and again, the car doesn't look that badly damaged. I don't know whether it's I don't know what's happening. The cars don't look that badly damaged, but they are undrivable. So not entirely sure what's happening. Pretty much everyone is pitting, other than Kaifu and Ark. So is this a masterstroke of strategy here? 4-lap old tires. I think Ark's tires being the mediums might be a little bit of a problem. I thought we were about to see contact there. 5, that's better. Later, another safety car. Yeah, no, it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's such a long track, such a technical track. You have to really push to the limit on every single lap, otherwise you fall back. And yeah, safety cars are just a part of it. Only 2 so far in 8 laps. And if you consider how long these laps are and how little repetition there is, that's actually not too bad. Obviously, this is tier 1, so we do expect the best from them. Fish obviously is, as I said, a reserve from tier 2, so he can absolutely be forgiven for his earlier safety car. So of the T1 runners, this is the first real safety car. So let's see how it goes. It will normally takes about 2 laps for the safety car to decide to come in, especially at Spa. It's not likely to be longer. So let's see how it goes and whether we get any more penalties under the safety car. But interestingly, as I was saying before though, Kaifu and Ark now out in front after pitting under the first safety car. Apologies. Looking at their tyre wear looks approximately the same. It looks like they should be fine for... let's see if I can math now. Math is not a strong point of mine. They should, in theory, be able to go to the end. Even Ark on those mediums looks like he should be able to get through to the end. So this could have been a good strategy. But having said that, they have some incredibly quick drivers behind them. And even if they do manage to get through to the end, obviously these tires are going to degrade more than those around them. They're probably not close. They're probably a good 3 or 4 laps away from the cliff. But that is 3 or 4 laps that everyone else will have in reserve to catch up to them. Which sound bit was that? The shawl. Wait. Before you try, let me just... I think I know why that happened. Alrighty, if you try it now, it should work. I'll be right back. I just need to attend to something, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, so that should now work. I have, let me just try one.
And box now, box for hard. Stay out.
There we go. Okay, so we have Kaifu leading the restart, keeping very close to the back of the safety car, and that's going to cause a little bit of concertina through the bus stop. And now it looks like he has gotten underway. Did look like he had a little bit of a twitch on the restart, and that has given Humid the opportunity to get right on the back of Ark. He won't pass into the first corner, I don't think, but possibly coming out of it, no. On those hard tires, won't be entirely up to temperature, but let's see how they do as they head up Eau Rouge. Will they manage to all get through? It looks like those two have, and let's go further back. It looks like we're looking fine. Oh, a little bit of almost contact there between Worm Puzzle and Wheeze. Wheeze definitely having a little bit of an issue with lag. He is from overseas, so that is something that we'll definitely have to look at. And it looks like everyone has managed to get through there fine. Shane getting a time penalty for track limits, and Olympic, Shane and Wheeze currently with the track limits penalties, all of them. Are Marsh and Ark side by side. Humid obviously getting past at some point. Marsh having to give back that position. I do believe it was off track when he took that position. And we can see the difficulty of everyone getting through Puan side by side. But Aphrodite manages to follow Marsh through, and Olympic as well. Ark just getting absolutely mobbed, and now has Corsair behind him as well. Shane putting a nose up on the inside, deciding better of it. Good decision there, but that has opened it up to Project. And that was a spinning Red Bull there. Arc unfortunately being spun. I do believe that was through contact, so I'm sure that will come across my desk as well. But Corsair making a good move there up into 6th position. Project making the decision not to stick his nose too far up the inside there. And I think it was a good decision. He wasn't entirely alongside, but Humid out in front, 1.1 seconds up. Kaifu in the second. Marsh is about to get through there, and let's see how he does it around the outside of turn 1. Nice move there. Good, clean racing there. And Aphrodite is now right on top of Kaifu. Kaifu getting that compromised exit out of the corner, and now they'll go up Eau Rouge right on top of each other. Nose to tail. Olympic has followed through as well. Kaifu is trying to get ahead of Marshall once again, and you can see how close Aphrodite is as well. 3 wide going into this corner. Why are we not seeing an offboard and contact, I think, between Aphrodite and Kaifu, and that led to contact with who was there as well. But this is terrible for the 3 of them. Marsh, Kaifu, and Aphrodite dropping all the way down, and that is really unfortunate going through that corner. Definitely is space there to make it through, but you have to be incredibly careful, and I don't think they were. Unfortunately, we didn't see the offboard, which is really frustrating. The game deciding that the onboard was more interesting, which I very much disagree with, but that has changed with the fight out in front. Olympic in 3rd place, Project in 4th. Kaifu managed to get away with that unscathed, and Emil making past Project for a moment, but Project taking back the position. Why is it giving us all these onboards? Emil goes to the inside, and it looks like he's got him through there, but Project is fighting back, and we've got Corsair in the mix as well. Corsair getting past Project. He now has to try and make a move past Emil, and let's see what he can do into the bus stop. It doesn't look like he's going to have enough energy to be able to do that. Oh, and that is a massive overshot by Shane. As some contact there between Emil and Corsair almost being shuffled off the track there by Project. Manages to keep his foot in, manages to keep his positioning, and you can see it's incredibly aggressive back here. So much going on, and we can see that lag by Wheeze once again. I think that will be something that will be considered before the next race. Corsair currently with Mario right on the back of him, and that AlphaTauri is ready to get past. I wonder if it's running lower wings. It definitely looks like it with that overspeed there. Possibly a little bit more energy, and coming into the chicane once again. Corsair cedes the position, Mario keeps that position, and Aphrodite retires from the session. We see Project being spun as well. Aphrodite coming through the chicane. I think he may have been tagged once again, and that's really unfortunate. Second race in a row where Aphrodite gets taken out by a couple of unfortunate incidents, and yeah, I'm sure we'll hear from him shortly in the chat. But a little bit of a mess race after the safety car restart, and we have another safety car. So, yeah, neutralized once again, 2 racing laps. Kaifu getting a 3-second penalty under the safety car, but Humid out in front. I'm sure he's going to be cursing the safety car. 5.5 seconds ahead. Kaifu in second, 3-second penalty. Olympic 3-second penalty as well in the Ferrari. Emil without a penalty, so technically in second place at the moment. Mario in 5th, Corsair in 6th. Corsair has made up a number of positions, 13 positions from the start of the race. Kaifu 9, Olympic 7. So, and Venom 7 as well, actually. Marsh losing 13 places, but I think he did have some contact there. And yeah, you can see that quite a lot going on. Will Kaifu actually, oh, Humid is coming into the pits. Kaifu as well. Olympic is doing it as well. Emil is staying out. Mario staying out. Corsair staying out. So a couple people going super aggressive. Let's see what tires they actually go onto. I'm curious to see. Kaifu going onto the softs. Humid going onto the softs. It's a long run to the end of the race. Ooh, that was very close. Corsair narrowly avoiding the rapidly slowing AlphaTauri in front of him. There's a little bit more space than needed to be left there by Mario, but obviously entirely legal there. The Williams drivers, so Williams and who is the other one? Quaja Robert. Both of them still have not fixed their telemetry, and we are far enough into the race that is going to be a penalty and a DSQ for the 2 of them. So we can ignore the Williamses. But yeah, interesting race so far. Lots happening. Unfortunately, lots of contact as well. We've seen quite a bit of a mess at the end of the Kemmel Straight. And again, I'm sure we'll see a lot of that coming across the steward's desk. Afro, intentionally or accidentally, or is that sarcasm, or was it a brake check, or just one of those moments? That part was facetious. I was just asking for more info. So let's see what happens here. The entire field is behind the safety car. Right, I see. That's unfortunate. Was that the three wide moment? I think it was Kaifu on the outside, in fact. Or was it Ark and I just misremembered which Red Bull it was? Okay, so the safety car not coming in this lap despite the fact that the entire train is behind it. So it does have that arbitrary minimum number of laps of 2 laps. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. It looked like a good move. We couldn't see it off board. The game decided that it would be more interesting to put us on board in a 3-wide moment. It was so stupid. That's really unfortunate from Scars. Yeah, like as per usual, please report any sort of incidents. We want safe racing, the clean racing throughout the league. So that is obviously our aim, is to have an extremely clean race, extremely clean league. And yeah, all incidents, even if they don't need to have a penalty, at least if we can note them, that is what we want to be doing, just to try and make sure that we get the league as clean as possible. Let's be civilized in the chat. Alrighty, so safety car in this lap. Emil leading the way this time. So third different safety car restart, and that Aston Martin is trying to look fast there down the straight, and the Formula One cars behaving themselves behind. But Emil currently leading for this safety car restart. So we had, I think, Scars on the first one, Kaifu on the second, Emil on the third. Let's see which method he takes. Scars obviously went at the line. Kaifu went just before the bus stop chicane. What does Emil do? It looks like he might have gone already, and looks like he gets a great exit out of there. Mario, however, right on top of him. Looked like a little bit of contact there. I think that may have been just a little bit of a glitch and a little bit of a bump. Scars crosses the line, and Humid getting across as well. Scars going a little. That was a little bit adventurous. I feel like Corsair got a little bit hard done by there. Scars going very, very, very adventurous down into that first corner. Again, I'm sure we'll see that in the steward's room. It's Grease on the back of him. A little bit of contact between Worm Positive and Humid behind. Humid getting past on the straight, and you can see the gaggle of cars behind. Scars and Wheeze fighting it, coming into the chicane. Scars deciding not to put his nose too far up. Gets a track limits penalty as well for his trouble, and we have another yellow flag. And who is that? That looks like it is Project. Looks like everyone else has managed to get through there, and Scars right on the back of Wheeze. Wheeze obviously not actually in the fight here with his telemetry incorrect, so he will be disqualified at the end of the race. So Scars does need to be careful. He is reacting. Yeah, I'm fully prepared for another 5 safety car race tomorrow. Humid has now been brought into this battle with Scars and Wheeze. Wheeze lagging all over the place, and that's not something we want to see. So I feel like Wheeze we might not see too often due to that lag issue. But Humid has now caught up to the back of these guys. He is on the soft tires, so he's going to have to make a decision about whether he wants to push as hard as possible and maybe throw in some pit stop practice for the AlphaTauri pit lane. But he does go very deep onto that into that braking zone. Gets past Scars. A little bit of contact there with Wheeze. I'm sure that will be fine, but I'm sure we will see it. And Scars and Humid passing either side of Wheeze, and great run through turn 1. A little bit of a snap there from Humid, but manages to get through. Corsair in 6th, just behind these guys, joining the battle now. And Scars, Mario and Emil out in front. They are not clear. 8/10 of a second between Emil and Mario, and only 5/10 back to Humid. So these guys are fighting in the pack for the Wheeze. Scars for the lead. Scars and Wheeze trying to fight it out. A little bit of a slide there by Wheeze, and Corsair taking advantage. Great move down the inside there, and a little bit of contact there by Wheeze. I don't think he expected an Alpine to be there, and that was a little bit of an ambitious move there by Kaifu, going very deep there, possibly a little bit out of control, but he now has now that's Scars on the back of him, so he's managed to get past Scars as well. Scars not having a good restart here, and now down into 7th place. Wheeze currently 1.5 seconds back from the guys ahead, so he is struggling to keep pace with Mario, Humid, and Emil, and looked like almost a little bit of contact between him and the Red Bull. Corsair giving everyone a wide berth, trying to keep it clean. Kaifu getting through, and let's see, 3 wide through that corner is not the ideal way to take it, but somehow they Human should get a penalty for what is he getting a penalty for? I think I may have missed it, but I'm sure if there is something to give a penalty for, we'll see it in the stewards room. Kaifu going very deep on the brakes then across the curb. Wee's going entirely off the track and rejoining very quickly, keeping right behind Kaifu, but that was very deep through there. Looks like he is just about managing to stay behind there. Corsair right on the back of him. Out in front, we've got Emil. Humid is actually right on the back of Emil. So let's see how this goes. This is for the lead of the race. Humid obviously with those soft tires and goes to the outside of the corner, decides against it, now goes to the outside for what will be the outside of the chicane, gets through there. Weeze and Kaifu look like they have changed positions, and Corsair getting past Kaifu as well, or alongside at the very least. Kaifu is on those soft tires, so he does have more traction through there. And once again, Corsair being a little bit balked by Kaifu on those soft tires. Scar's a little bit of contact there between himself and Corsair, but managing to keep it mostly clean there. And once again, these guys are pretty much in the same positions. Weeze somehow holding on with those hard tires as we see Wormpuzzle spinning out, coming out of that fast left-hander where we saw a couple of incidents on Sunday, or yesterday actually. It's still yesterday. And Kaifu now looks like he has managed to get past Wee's yellow flag for Wormpuzzle, and yeah, Kaifu has managed to make the move. He is now ahead of the Williams, so let's see if he can make some distance. Corsair still in 6th place. He is the next person to try and get past Weeze, and then Scar's right behind him, so he has to watch both forwards and backwards at the same time to try and keep his position and work his way up even further. Obviously, we saw a massive climb for him from himself and Aphrodox earlier on, and looks like they are just trying to he is just trying to continue that, and it looks like he gets a pretty good exit out of that final corner, but just not fast enough to get past Weeze. Someone is going to the inside there. Scar's going to the inside, and that was a spinner by that looked like a, what was that? That was Weeze in the Williams spinning out, and that has opened up this battle. So Scar's in 5th, Olympic in 6th, Corsair losing a position in that spin, which is, I'm not sure what happened there, but now Olympic, and that is massive contact but there for Kaifu, and that was a huge crash. So fast that the physics on the polystyrene board didn't even manage to keep up. And that was massive, massive, massive. Emil gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Unfortunately, that's very quick, so... Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of those penalties that you really should be able to avoid. So, Humid out in front on the soft tires. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come in once again. Emil in 2nd. I'm sure pretty much everyone is going to have to pit. Olympic might be able to push it and keep going. He is currently... oh no, he has wing damage, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to come in and just get rid of that front wing. Corsair in 6th place, I'm sure we'll see him come in. Robert also will probably come in. Shane could push, possibly. But we'll see what he does. So Emil with that drive-through, Scars and Olympic 3 and 6 seconds respectively. Shane, TJ and Helly's 3 seconds each, and then Weeze with 8 seconds of penalties. So that's either speeding out of pit lane or otherwise some other sort of penalty. So Corsair is coming in. Let's see how many people come into the pits now. So not as many people pitting as I would have expected. So obviously they will lose track positions, but they will have incredibly fresh tires around the track that does eat through the tires quite quickly. Good stop there by Corsair, but does to make TJ stop a little bit slower, but not much to lose there. Releases out just behind the Williams of Weeze there. Weeze's Williams... Oh, right, Williams is at the end of the pit lane, that's why he's still ahead there. Not enough laps. Oh, it's only 3 laps to go. Although the safety car will probably come in this lap. It normally leaves 2 racing laps. Yeah. So, the pit stops might work. So obviously they are fresh, soft tires. The guys ahead are all on a mixture of tires. Looking at tire life, there are a couple people that are going to struggle with their tires going through these couple of laps. So yeah, I'm. We thought it was bad going into this. I'm pretty sure we're about to see some very ambitious overtakes, and I'm sure we're going to be busy. The stewards are going to be busy. Shush, buddy. Maybe you should stay away. Then the safety cars won't come. Obviously, I'm joking. Yes. I was looking at the leaderboard and Kaifu got absolutely yeeted into the wall heading down the Kimmel Straight. Hit the 100-meter DRS, 100-meter braking board at the end of the straight so hard that the physics didn't even really process what was going. You could see the cracks in the board, but the polystyrene was not moved from where it was existing. So, safety car has not announced that it's going in just yet, which is a little bit unfortunate, because it means we will have 2 racing laps to go, no DRS to speak of. This is going to be messy. So a quick rundown of how people are looking at the moment. Humid out in front in the AlphaTauri. Mario in the second AlphaTauri is there. Although we did see a couple of dubious moments from him earlier on. Scars is in third with Olympic in fifth. Robert is in fifth. He is going to be disqualified due to his telemetry settings. Shane, Ark, Emile, Corsair, and Marsh are our top 10. Then it's TJ, Helis, Venom, Wheeze, who's also going to be DSQ because of telemetry, project, and Worm Puzzle bringing up the rear after some very early issues for the Mercedes driver. So we've got some very, very, very strong guys out at the back of the field in the second half of the field. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some massive movement. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if we see some massive movement going through through these final 2 laps. I feel like Humid does have the pace to pull out ahead, especially from Mario and Scars behind on those old tires, 12 lap old for both of them. Both of them have already hit the first real performance step or are very rapidly approaching it. Olympic is not doing too much better as far as performance is concerned, and Robert, as I said, DSQ due to telemetry settings, so I can't see what he's looking at. Olympic actually also carrying 23% wing damage, so he's not looking too good, and it looked like a little bit of contact there between Mario and Humid. No wing damage, so not too bad for them, but Humid now leading. I think this is our 4th safety car and the 4th different car leading it towards the start-finish line. Alrighty, so please remember to report your incidents through to the correct places. Let's not get toxic in the chat. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see it anyway. If I do need to, I will close the chat. And Mario falling back a little bit from Humid. Hopefully that is not one of those team decisions, but Humid going quite early and catching everyone a little bit by surprise. Mario hasn't dropped too far back. Scars 3/10 back. Olympic for 5 tenths back. Robert 7, Shane in 6th position. So definitely making a strong case for a move up into Tier 1. Arc is in 7th, Emil in 8th in the remaining Ultra Romeo, and he's very close behind Arc, and Corsair right on the back of them. So these three obviously were running quite high up earlier on. You can see already trying to make a move there, and Scars also trying to make a move, not quite close enough. Arc and Emil swapping positions. Scars has left the session. That's really unfortunate for him. He's going to start plummeting down the order, and that is really unfortunate for Scars. He was having a pretty decent race, and Corsair looking at the inside of Arc, space left on both sides, a little bit of a bang of wheels there. That is going to be, I don't think that's going to be too much there. Looked like both of them were sort of in the middle of the track, and Corsair getting through on Shane as well. Incredible run down the inside of Kuhn there, and that would have caught Shane by surprise, I am sure. Those soft tires incredibly quick. You can see how quickly those have and a little bit of contact there, and Olympic looks like he's going incredibly slowly, being pushed along by the guys behind. All three of them basically nose to tail through that entire section. Olympic with that wing damage, obviously being a little bit careful, and Robert, Emil, and Corsair basically pushing each other through that section there. No issues so far, no wing damage, and that is really unfortunate there. Corsair braking late, trying to get his nose down the inside there. I don't think he was quite close enough to be entitled to room there, so that's really unfortunate, and his race for the lead pretty much coming to an end. Emil, however, up into 4th position, now with Olympic ahead of him. Olympic on those old medium tires. TJ making up a couple of positions there. Wormpuzzle getting past Scars. Scars obviously the AI Wheeze and Corsair getting through on Helis and TJ. A couple of people, many people changing positions all over the place, and we've got TJ spun at the top of Rouge and Radial. That's really unfortunate, and Emil right on the back of Olympic. You can see how hard he's pushing here on those fresher, soft tires. Gets alongside, brave move around the outside. But the move is not over yet. Olympic and Emil locking wheels there. Project has retired from the session. Oh no, Emil got caught by that. You could see him get caught by that curb, and the curb just did not let go of him, and he is now under threat by Arc, throwing himself into Pond, gets a 3-second penalty for track limits. What is that? Oh, right. Oops. And let's see, penalties all over the place, and that is contact between Emil and Arc, and that is going to lead to all sorts of extra bits of contact, and unfortunately Corsair once again caught in the incident. And who is that? Wheeze, who's also spun out. Marsh currently in 6th place, Arc in 5th. And this is going to be such a busy stewarding session. Emil with a drive-through penalty. That was for speeding under the safety car. And final lap of the race. And will this count, actually? Interesting. I don't think it will count. So I think when he crosses the line, which will be right about now, 20 seconds. Yeah, there it is. Unserved drive-through. So that's good to know. You cannot serve your drive-through at the end like that. And Emil dropping all the way to the end. Right. So I did worry about my voice towards the end of this, and I feel like I had reason to worry. It is not feeling so good. But yeah, what a race. What a mess, actually. Let's call it a little bit what it was. So it was a little bit of a mess, a little bit of a safety car simulator. But yeah, Humid taking the win there. Just going to make sure I get all the screenshots just to make my life a little bit easier later on. But Humid taking the win. Mario in 2nd. Robert in 3rd, but he will be dropped out due to the DSQ. Olympic in 4th, so the actual podium position. Marsh in 5th. Arc, Helis, Shane, Venom, and Wormpuzzle, the top 10. Corsair, TJ, Wheeze is getting disqualified. Emil, Scars, and Project, the top 15. And then Kaifu is not finished, unfortunately. DNF for Kaifu, Afrodox, Zivan, and Fish. So yeah, what a race! As I said, a little bit of a mess there. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot of it from the stewarding point of view. Just need to check that this lap time was actually valid. There it is. It was indeed. And yeah, what a crazy race. Am I going to get all the incidents? Probably not, but let's see if I can. 9 seconds. Great. Okay, cool. Well, there it is. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, both on track and off. And yeah, as I said, I'm sure I'm going to see a lot of the stewarding stuff coming through very shortly. And yeah, well done to the racers who did manage to make it through cleanly. And yeah, report your incidents. And to all of you in the chat, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you around. Thank you so much. We'll check you next time.